Spanish from uptown, I bought a bus down. Yeah, oh, then I keep dame to my Shannon loca. In the kitchen, whipping that dope up, you can smell a odor.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Angry Vets Fantasy Sports Discussion Podcast. Tonight, we have an interesting group of gentlemen with me. We have my man from North Carolina, the man himself, Alex, the head Hager. What's going on?
Not much. Ready to talk some football. Let's get into it when you're ready.
Ooh,
I'm ready. Let's go.
the energy's there. And on the other end, we have a formidable foe. We have Sheldon Brown.
Yo, what's good?
Yes, sir. All right. And with that being said, everyone's getting the updates now. So we're just going to roll with it this time. If the live goes out, we're sorry. We'll cut it. But we're going to continue to record and get this out on the podcast. So bear with us, people. We're trying to get these live videos out to you. But, hey, things happen. With that being said, man, we have some interesting games going on this weekend, fellas. Definitely some telling games. Let's start off with Sheldon, man. How do you feel about the game tomorrow? Eagles versus Packers, Thursday night football.
It's a big game for Philly, man, because Philly's 1-2, right?
Yeah, Philly's 1-2.
They really can't lose this game, man, and I think it's going to be an interesting matchup because it's gonna. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Thursday night, everybody's a little dinged up. Philly's wide receiver staff is a little dinged up. I don't know. I think Green Bay is going to get the best of them.
Okay.
The defense, Green Bay's defense is really impressive.
Yeah.
They're like ranked, I think, either 5th or 6th DVOA right now, and
what is the DVOA for those fans that don't know what that is?
The DVOA is defense adjusted value over average. It calculates a team's success based on down and distance of each play during the whole season. And then it calculates how much more or less successful each team is compared to the league average.
Okay. And so any takes on that, Alex? Who are you taking in this game, Alex? And then we'll get into some fantasy talk after that. But who are you taking in this game?
I'm going with Sheldon here. Packers by a long shot, man. I'm not impressed with the Eagles so far. Carson Wentz has played a little bit better than what I was expecting. But at the same time, the Eagles' cornerbacks are kind of putrid. Yeah. They're giving up over 100 yards a game to the number 2 receiver. That's how bad it is. That's before you look at the wide receiver 1. So their secondary is just not coming out to play. And Aaron Rodgers is going to pick that apart.
So is that MVS? Do I smell MVS? Are people going to be MVS tomorrow?
It's either MVS or Allison. What
are you saying, Sheldon? Who are you leaning towards tomorrow for that? MVS or Allison?
Between MVS and Allison, I'm going MVS, man. MVS is going to have a good matchup against the secondary. I mean, Adams and MVS are probably going to feast. I mean, Allison is a ghost. He's had 3 catches for 57 yards. He did get 1 touchdown in 3 games. I mean, that's just not. He's not fitting into the offensive scheme right now. And fantasy wise, as a player, I think he's a great player. I think they're running into issues with the offense, but fantasy wise, I've had to let him go. I think I still have him on my 14 team league because it's such a deep league. And I need to have that depth for the bye weeks coming up on the bench. But other than that, I've let him go in all my 10 and 12 team leagues. I can't have that production. Even if he has those blow up games on my bench, I'd rather have him have blow up games than at goose eggs and 2 and 3 point games. I can't depend on that in a bye week.
So who's your start sitting these games tomorrow then? Who is that must go to start besides Rodgers? Are you starting Jones in this game?
Yeah, I'm starting Jones.
Are you starting
because
Jones, Alex?
I think
No. Eagles have a great run defense. They're a very one-dimensional defense right here. They give up a lot of passing yards. I think Rodgers is gonna, take that apart. Like in the split right now, it's just weird. Like Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, right? This is why I don't trust Jones, is because last game he only got 12 carries compared to Williams 10. And
but he had the touchdowns though.
Yeah, but if Williams keeps getting the same touches, he'll be getting those touchdowns.
But if you watch the touchdown he scored, Williams isn't getting that touchdown. Williams isn't making that explosive play.
But Williams has the option to get that reception touchdown too, though, which Jones normally doesn't get.
I mean, I know they're splitting the carries. I think they're trying to keep Jones fresh from getting hurt. And I think he's the better back. He's definitely the better back, and he's getting work. Look what he did to the Vikings defense, man.
I mean,
and you're worried about Philly playing on 3 days rest, man. Nah, man.
So what about Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders. He's not looking too good for him, man. I'm asking if we're cutting him. 0 touchdowns for the season. He's averaged 35 yards a game. Only 2 receptions a game, so he's really not helping you in that department. His only hope is the fact that, like I said, this Packers defense is really stingy, but they did allow a 75-yard touchdown to Cook.
Alex.
So maybe Miles can hit a home run, but I wouldn't bet on him. I wouldn't start him definitely for sure, and I don't even know if he was on my team.
Thoughts, Alex?
Man. I mean, Dalvin Cook still went off for 154 besides that one run. So, I mean, Packers are still letting up a lot of rushing yards. Against the Broncos, they let up a total of 149.
Oh, man, Lindsey had 2 touchdowns against them.
Yeah, I think Sanders is going to get a lot of touches in this game, and he's going to have to. Is Alshon Jeffrey actually coming back for this game?
Yeah, he's playing.
He's starting, but he's getting the shadow, man. He's getting the shadow by that young up and comer, man.
Yeah.
The Packers have a shutdown corner now.
I didn't say he's shut down yet, but he's like the next one in line.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's move into this Sunday tilt.
I got what's his name? Hold on.
Okay.
I have it somewhere in my stuff. I have so much stuff here. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
You talking about Alexander?
Yes, Jair Alexander. Man.
Oh, Jair. Yes,
yeah.
Jair.
It's actually number one in the league in pass breakups right now with 8 in 3 games. And also there was another stat that said on every time that his wide receiver was targeted, he was no more than 5 feet away from the receiver. And so it's not like, even if the receiver is getting separation, it's not like he's getting toasted.
Wait a minute, time out. Wait a minute. We gotta hit on that. 5 feet away, like
the most he's away is what, a yard and 2/3. That's not that far.
5 feet away, like, man, that guy is moving.
Yeah.
Gosh, but moving on to our Sunday tilts, we have first game on the schedule, Titans versus the Falcons. Man, what a disappointment the Falcons have been so far. Julio was fine in the end zone like we knew he would with Dirk Clutter. Freeman's starting to get loose a little bit, but what's some of your thoughts? Who some of the players you're looking at, Alex? What are we looking at for this Titans-Falcons game?
So I'm watching the Falcons defense. Their run defense this year, first game of the year, they had Dalvin Cook, so that didn't turn out well. Dalvin Cook's been doing work on everybody. Second game is when they went to the bully backs, right? Now you have the Marlon Macks. The third game, they had Sanders and Jordan Howard, sorry. So out of those 3 players, they held them to just 100 yards. Those 3 running backs total. So they've been bullying these big running backs. I think the only way to beat the Falcons is to have that elusive back. And I don't know if Derrick Henry is going to be able to be that guy. So I don't know. That's what I'm watching for, is this Falcons run defense holding up against Henry. I think Henry's not really looking like a good fantasy threat this week.
Oh, sitting Henry for Alex. What's up, Mr. Sheldon? What are you? Any thoughts on that?
I disagree. I think that the Titans are gonna pull a Marshawn Lynch and just run the ball through their face, And I don't think the Falcons are going to be ready for them to just run the ball through the face, and we're going to see it play out like we always see it play out in those
Anybody
Derrick
ready
Henry
for that?
games in the last however many games it's been since he played Jacksonville last year, and where he's just been going ham in the second half because people don't want to tackle him anymore. And I think we're going to see that, and I think they're going to just and that Titans defense is serious. They're really underrated, and so I'm taking the Titans in this game. I think Henry's going to have a big game again, and I'm not too impressed by the Atlanta offense besides Julio.
So let me get this right. So you're saying start Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Alex is saying sit Derrick Henry. Ooh, I'm ready to see how this one plays out. Them Falcon safeties, man, they're tough. They do have some nice safeties. They come down in the box and they hit.
Keanu Neal just tore his Achilles. And
really?
Like,
ooh.
Yep.
Atlanta can't have nice things on defense, man.
See that, man. Can't give them
Every
keys
year.
to the Lambo, man. They're wrecking.
Oh, man.
Golly. God, dog. So another quick question for you guys. Besides Delaney Walker, are you looking at starting any receivers in this game, Cory? Because they're going to have to put up some kind of numbers. This game is in Atlanta, so hey, they're going to have to put up numbers.
Yeah,
I don't
Delaney,
think so with that defense, man. I don't think they're going to have to put up that much with that defense, bro.
Hey, Delaney's still questionable right now too. So apparently he didn't show up to practice today. They say he's supposed to come back though. But if he doesn't play, I think Adam Humphries has a huge game because he got a lot of targets this past week. The 1 week after I drop him, the dude goes off.
That's the way it always works, man. That's the way it always works.
And shout out to the Titans because they brought him in for that reason, for him to be Mariota's quote unquote safety blanket, which I don't understand the point of that if you have Delaney Walker, but I guess they know Delaney Walker's getting older. So they brought in Humphries, and now Humphries and Mariota are starting to get a little bit of connection. And so are you starting Humphries in this game against the Falcons, Alex?
Oh yes. 100%. He's about their only option. Only reason I would start him is because of the targets he's actually going to get.
So
out of 10 targets, he's guaranteed to catch 7 of those.
Ooh, them Edelman numbers, man. Edelman not doing anything with it, but it's PPR numbers because they fill up the stat board.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to have 60 yards with that 7 catches, and hopefully he'll have a touchdown. Like with Mariota, you never know. Like if you need an emergency flex because of due to injury or something, like our bye week, I would understand playing him, but like I'm not riding hard for Humphries.
I'm riding hard for Humphries. Don't make that your fantasy name. Don't ride hard for Humphries.
Have to play him, but I'm not riding hard for Humphries, man.
Not riding hard for Humphries. All right, and on that one, we're moving on to this. Oh my gosh. The battle of the undefeated divisional game. The game's in Buffalo. People are going to be getting slammed through a table.
Yo, those fans are going to be ham.
Oh, they will be going in, brother. I cannot wait to see these videos. Mark is the biggest Bills fan I know, so I know I wonder if he's going to be at that game, man. So, all right, so we'll let you start this one off, Sheldon. Who are some fantasy studs, if any, in this game? What are you looking at, man?
Brady. Of course, you're going to start Brady. You killed me with Brady last week, man. Brady's carrying your squad for you this year, actually, man. Like, would you get him in like the 10th round or something too?
12th.
Oh, Jesus! Late round pickups, blessing you. But besides Brady, Edelman has the chest injury. I don't know. Did he practice today? I don't know if I heard anything about him. New England's so secretive. You never really hear anything out of their camp.
No, not till game day, and then he's just on the sideline in a jersey.
They're too busy spying on other teams.
If Edelman plays, of course, I'm probably playing Edelman. Gordon, I don't know. You really don't know what's up with his finger. But I don't know if you play Gordon or not. I definitely don't know what you do with Dorsett. Dorsett's been scoring a touchdown a game when Brown's not playing. He's been putting up good numbers. I think I picked him up and show me. So I'm not playing him, but if you're in a pinch, I would probably play Dorsett. Then maybe Burkhead and White. But I don't know that Bills. This might be a battle, man. This might be like a really good game. The defensive struggle. You might see one.
Sheldon's cheating the system, guys. You can't just go and name every player and say, I don't know. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
It's a toss up, man, because this is like going to be a really good game. I think, man.
It is a divisional game.
Like you have it's divisional. Like you said, it's a divisional rivalry. They're going to be going there in Buffalo. And these games are always funny, especially with all the hype and the circus around AB leaving, but the Belichick
undefeated.
Buffalo, and it's just
madness. I say, thoughts, Alex Hager.
I think the Bills are going from playing the 3 worst teams in the league to playing the best team in the league here.
Oh, I've been hearing that a lot this year. Here we go.
So,
preach.
Hey, man, it's
same thing about the Cowboys.
It's the struggle. Well, I mean, who have they played yet? So
they played the Skins, the Dolphins, and who else?
Legit 3 worst teams in the NFL. But back on this. So, all right, keep on with the Bills. What we got?
So I like their defense right here. It just depends on who lines up in the 1. They're shutting down wide receiver 1s this year. So I think Dorsett is going to thrive in this. I really like Brown on the Bills. I think he's going to have a good game. But the big thing to watch is this Patriots defense. Like, this could be one of those games where they put up 30 points. Like, it really could. Their last 3 games, this is what they've been allowing. Let me pull this up. So they've had – this is their opposing QBs, right? So if it wants to load, this ain't loading. All right, so the Jets, Falk went 98 yards and a pick. The Dolphins, Josh Rosen went 97 yards and a pick. And the Steelers, 270 yards and a pick. So one thing I'm not hearing is touchdowns and a lot of picks right here. And then you have Josh Allen.
What teams were those again? It was the Dolphins, the Steelers, and who else?
Jets.
I mean, we could say the same thing about the Patriots, that they played some poo teams.
And they've blown them out.
And I mean, they dominated.
But those are some poo teams. The Jets are in disarray right now. Pittsburgh's some poo, and the Dolphins are some poo. The Dolphins legit.
That's what it takes to get you going, though.
I mean, this game is going to be a good test to see where both of these teams are at, because they really haven't really seen any formidable opposition, So I don't know.
I think the Patriots are in the grind every year, and they got the same players going through the struggle every year, and the Bills have not seen this yet. Only time they grind is playing the Patriots twice a year. So
yeah, but there's always a blurb in their season. There's always a game that you're like, whoa, how did they lose that game?
Maybe it's the Super Bowl again this year.
Unless you're thinking they're going to go 18-0, 19-0 to the Super Bowl,
I still wouldn't doubt it.
There's always a game. There's a game where there's a snafu or where there's a crazy fumble. I mean,
I'll say this.
And it might be this game.
This Patriots team is focused. And I've been saying it from Jump Street. This is the old Brady. This team looks good. We're going to move on. So we got the Chiefs and the Lions. Shout out to Cody. He's going to be at this game. I'm low-key jealous because, I mean, I believe the Chiefs are going to go in here and run amok on this Lions team. But, hey, who am I? Maybe Patricia makes some magic happen and he figures out how to shut down this Mahomes-led offense. What are your thoughts, Sheldon? Who are you playing in this game? Let's start with the Lions side of the ball. Let's make things interesting. Who are you playing on the Lions side of the ball this week?
I am starting Stafford. I actually am starting Stafford in the Show Me League.
Okay.
I am starting Carry-On. I believe I have Carry-On as well in the Show Me League. Okay. I'm going to start him against that Chiefs run defense. We saw Mark Ingram go ham last week in a loss against them. And I definitely think that Patricia is going to try to clock the ball and play keep away from that offense and try to run it down their gullet with Carry-On and Ty Johnson.
You have to.
So I'm starting.
52 on you.
I'm starting those two dudes, and then I'm starting Jones and Galladay as well. Jones had a big week. I think he went 6 for 101 last week, and against the Eagles. And they kind of bottled up Galladay, but I think I could see Galladay having a decent game against this Chiefs secondary. And so I mean I could see a shootout happening, man. I could see
game of the week.
I mean that's how Chiefs games are, man. Like they're high scoring affairs because their defense really. I mean, even though their defensive DVOA is high, I still don't think their defense is up to snuff, and they allow a lot of yards, and they allow teams to get back in the games. Look how Baltimore got back in that game.
I need a little clicker button so I can have a little like window pop up or something that says the sexy pick of the week. Cause you just made it, man. I agree with you, Sheldon. I think this game could be a shootout. It's gonna be interesting for sure. Let's get your takes, Alex. You believe it's gonna be a shootout as well?
Yeah, I mean,
4.5. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so the Lions aren't just going to be able to run the clock out. Like you just can't do that against the Chiefs, and the only person they have to do that is KJ. So I don't think that's going to be their option. I do think it's going to be a shootout. One big thing to watch for me is going to be Damian Williams coming back. One thing to note is Detroit's front seven's given up the second most receiving yards to running backs this year. And Damian Wilson is an awesome reception running back. So I think he's a must start. Yeah. Yeah, Darrell Williams is gone.
Oh man!
So
big
what?
Stats.
So what?
Stats.
You're playing Darrell Williams or Damian Williams?
Damian.
But Damian still didn't practice this week, man.
No, he's coming back.
You think he's coming back this week?
He'll be back. I thought he did show up to practice today.
No practice today.
He'll be back. If he's not, I mean, Darrell Williams.
Well, I'm on that. I also have him in Show Me. I trust me. I'm on that.
Sheldon's like, I have to watch this, man.
Yeah, like I
on it.
Yeah, like I need him to step up his game. He had 7 points in that game before he got hurt, man. I think I ended up winning that game anyway, but still, man, I need him to come through for me. I spent a 3rd round pick on him, man.
So I just need a yay or nay on this one. I got a question for both of y'all. And we'll start with Sheldon, and then we'll go to you, Alex. Yes, just a simple yay or nay, and we'll move on to the next game. Will you, if you had him, will you start T.J. Hawkinson this weekend? Will he show back up?
No.
No for Alex. He didn't go in order, but it's all good. And what we got?
I'll say yes against this Chiefs defense. With his athleticism, I think he might be inspired playing opposite of Kelsey, somebody that a lot of people compare him to. I think he might get hyped for this game. Yeah. I think he might try to put up another week 1 for us this week, man.
So the Chiefs are the only teams to stop Waller and Andrews. Andrews only had 3 receptions for 15, and Waller's only game he had less than 6 receptions.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, man.
Interesting. All right, so moving on, we have another game that really, it feels like a monkey game in the making. I don't know if I'm starting too many players in this game, especially with T.Y. might be out. What's up? What's your takes, Alex? Raiders and Colts.
So my must start here is going to be Waller. But obviously, like I just said, besides the Chiefs game, he's went off. 13 receptions for 134 yards his first game, 7 receptions for 70 the one after that. The Colts defense just gave up 6 receptions for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns to Hooper for the Falcons. So I think Waller busts this game open right here. So if T.Y. doesn't play, I really don't see anybody from the Colts starting. I do like Tyrell Williams though. So
you're not gonna play Mac?
Nah, man, no Mac for me.
That Raiders defense has been pretty good against the rest.
Yeah,
Mac is number 5 in the league in total touches this season, man. You gotta play Mac, man. Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here.
Man.
He's getting 6. He's getting.
Hey. Look at the Raiders defense.
21 touches a game, bro. You got to play him. You going to believe that on your bench?
What's 21 touches if they only getting 21 yards, man? I'm telling you.
Man, he's going to turn it into more than that, man.
Hey, right. Raiders rush defense have gave up 31 yards and 95 yards the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so they gave up 95 yards.
That's 9 fantasy points if you don't score.
I mean, I
He ain't catching the ball.
Mac has a knack for the end zone, man. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
He's
See how
gonna
it
get there.
goes.
If I have him, if I spend a third round pick on him, I'm playing him, bro. I
With
don't.
no Ty, he better be running all the way up the
Yeah.
field every time.
That is
I
a
think-
good point.
I
That
think-
is a good point,
I think
Sheldon.
I think Deion Kane and what's the old boy's name? And Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell's been coming along, man. For a
I
rookie,
like Paris. I like Paris.
I
He's
think
been
that
playing well.
they'll be all right with those two tight ends. I think Frank Reich will have them game planned. I think Brissett will manage that game plan. I think they'll be okay. I'm not scared of the Raiders. The Raiders do not impress me.
Hey, the Raiders against who did they play last? The Chiefs. They gave up it was like 5 home run balls, man. That secondary looked terrible.
Say, like, what were the two teams the Raiders held to 20 yards?
That was the Broncos.
Broncos.
Broncos. Well,
We're not going to talk about that.
do those other two teams have the offensive line talent that Indianapolis has?
No.
On the left side.
We haven't seen that matchup yet. So, I mean, look, it's still week 3, man. You're using these numbers, and I like that you're using these numbers, but it's still such a small sample size, bro. And we haven't seen good teams play other good teams yet. And we haven't seen them skew the numbers in that way. And so I like that you're using these numbers, but in a way, like, it's smoke and mirrors, bro. So I think that Indy's good O-line and Mac touching the ball 21 times a game might turn something different with a game manager like Brissett, with young weapons like Paris Campbell and Deion Kane, with those 2 stud tight ends, Ebron and Jack Doyle, Slurping Jack Doyle. So
Are you saying KC has a bad line?
Offensive line?
Yeah.
For running the ball, yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Actually, they're not too great for pass protection either. As I remember, Mahomes got hurt in the first or second week, didn't he?
I mean, just because he got hurt doesn't mean they have a bad offensive line. Shit happens.
He's under duress, man. He's always under duress, man. He's making plays. He still makes the plays, but it's not like that O-line is official fantastic. I think Indianapolis has a good O-line. I think they might do like I said the other team needs to do and run it down their face, and that's what's going to happen.
Hey, Patty only got sacked once against the Ravens, so I'll take that line.
And with that, let's go on to the Chargers and Dolphins. Hey, shout out to you fellas and show me, man. I woke up early this morning and I saw the Chargers defense just sitting there, and I saw who they were playing. And I was like, hey, I'll take my chances with that. I think Joey Bosa's coming back, or which Bosa is it that plays for the Chargers? Anyways,
Joey.
Joey. Yeah, I think he's coming back this weekend. Or if he's already
one
back.
of the first round draft picks.
One of
the many.
They're always hurt though. I mean, good googly woo. They can't stay on the field. Anywho, let's go, Sheldon. Who are your must plays this week? Last week,
well, you gotta get your love in for Eckler. I mean, he's still gonna be flex viable. I think, especially with Gordon. I don't think they're gonna come in and just give Gordon the ball. You know, they're gonna slowly work him in, like Zeke slowly got worked in. And so, I mean, Eckler will still be viable. I'd try to sell on him, really, though.
Yes.
And get something nice in return. But I mean, he could still be a viable flex option. Hopefully, you handcuffed and you have Gordon and Eckler. I was in a position like that last year. But for this game, I love Eckler. I love Justin Jackson as well. I think he'll get more than his 8-9 touches he's been getting and been very productive. So I think he'll have a big game. Pollard, the backup for the Cowboys, had a big game against the Dolphins last week. I'm starting Mike Williams. I think he's going to get free. He's been getting very unlucky in the end zone. I think he leads them with like 6 end zone targets. But he's just been, defensive deflection, this, that, whatever, woody-woo. He hasn't been making those catches. With Hunter Henry gone, I think he's going to get those end zone targets. In this game, he might blow up. Keenan Allen went crazy ham last week. So he's probably going to have a great game as well. Rivers, if you're in a quarterback pinch with all the injuries and whatnot, I might start Rivers. I definitely start Rivers against this Miami Dolphins defense. And then on the Dolphins side, I am starting Noah.
It was just like
He just
I
said,
all
he
that
said the
to get to-
whole Chargers offense and no way.
and period. That was it. Anything on that, Alex? Do you have any takes on that? Anything different?
My big stat is the Dolphins have gave up 208 rushing yards a game and 2 touchdowns a game just rushing.
Eckler's about to.
That's why I'm saying start Justin Jackson. If you need a flex, you need an upside flex. Start Justin Jackson, man. I could see him getting 100 yards and a touchdown easy in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly would start somebody from the Dolphins, and that's Preston Williams.
Yes.
That's just because he's getting so many targets a game. I think that increases, and I think they're going to be playing catch up too, so he's going to be getting a lot of receptions. So
Eating time.
Yep.
Hello, daily fantasy players out there. You can get them for cheap. The daily fantasy players out there. We just gave you a steal, my man. What was you trying to say, Sheldon? What did you say, brother?
Back on that, man. I think that Rosen is getting a bum deal, man. He's getting a bum deal. Like, you really couldn't assess his talent in Arizona because there was some boo-boo last year. And now this year, you really can't assess his talent because they traded away the best offensive lineman.
Now, time out. The Cardinals are boo-boo this year. Now, Kyler Murray's keeping them in games. But at least he's
They were
doing
boo-boo
something.
last year.
That's what I'm saying. At least Kyler Murray's making something happen.
But there's a whole new coaching regime came in, man.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's a whole different regime, man. Kingsbury came in with this whole different thing, right? Oh man, last year was the dumpster fire in Arizona, man.
It was.
So and he's running the same thing. He's on the South Florida dumpster fire down there, man. It's crazy, man. He can't get really. How are you supposed to assess his talent? If he gets away to another team, it's going to be a mystery bag because he's played for the two swashbuckling.
If he gets another chance, Josh Rosen might be done after this tenure here in the Dolphins. You never know. We got another game coming up, which is another divisional game. I cannot believe all these divisional games at the beginning of the season this year. They kill your fantasy teams. They kill your fantasy value because they're usually slugfest. And this one could be a slugfest. It is the Redskins and the Giants. Oh, man, I know Sheldon is going to be licking his lips to get on this one, but I'm going to make him wait. So we're going to go Alex. Start this one off, man. What are we looking at fantasy-wise? Good, sir.
I'm looking at the Redskins sucking is what I'm looking at.
Oh.
This pass defense is really bad right now. Ingram is somebody definitely to start this week. Daniel Jones is I'm going to say start him.
Yes.
Ooh. The Redskins have gave up 250 plus pass yards per game this year.
Wow.
So that's my take, man. I think the Giants are going to have an air raid going on. No Barkley. They're going to try to fit Wayne Gallman in, try to wiggle him in, get him some playing time. But I think it's going to be an air raid. Sterling Shepard coming back, and then next week's Golden Tate too. Oh, my God.
Can I say something really fast? I hate that people went out and spent their top waiver picks on Wayne Gallman.
Yeah.
Because I just Wayne Gallman, even his name, I put it in the chat earlier, even his name sounds boring. It's just can you imagine Eeyore saying it's Wayne Gallman takes the ball for 2 yards. That's what you're going to hear all weekend, man. It's it's too late. You already wasted it. You might as well play him, I guess, if you ain't got a better choice.
As bad as running backs are right now, it's not a terrible pickup. You could hit the jackpot.
He can catch the ball out of the backfield.
He can.
He's a decent running back. The thing about him, he's kind of just a jag, bro. And even at Clemson, his senior year, right, with all the talent that he had around him everywhere at Clemson, he only averaged 5 yards a carry at Clemson his senior year.
Exactly.
And that sounds good in the NFL, but at Clemson in college, with all that talent around you, you're only averaging 5 yards a carry. That says something. That kind of says something about what you're doing with the rock when you got it in your hands. And his thing is he's not decisive, man.
By chance, any of you have his stats up from last year? Because he started. Didn't he start? No, not last year. The year
The
before
year
last.
before.
Right? He
He
started.
started a couple games. Yeah.
What? Because I don't remember him doing anything. I remember him
He
I
was
remember
all
trying
right.
to get him, and it
He
was just
wasn't
like,
fantastic or nothing. He had a couple of big games, maybe against the Redskins, probably because there are. I'm sorry, the Washington football team, because there are some sauce. But
some sauce. Some sauce. I like it, man. Alex, man. So, did you put in? I'm just for shits and giggles. Did you put in for Wayne Gallman, Alex?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. There was another running back I was actually looking at.
There's another one out there.
We'll go over that later. I'll have to pull it up.
Okay. All right.
all right, so Gallman
We got the stats. Here we
played
go.
13 games in 2017.
Okay.
Averaged 36 yards a game.
Woo, sexy.
But he had 34 receptions in that season.
Those 3 points.
Ooh, sexy.
In 2018, he played. He was available for 15 games. Had 51 rushes for 176 yards. Averaged 3.5 yards a carry.
I'm gonna stop you right there, man. And the reason I'm gonna stop you is because there's no reason to keep going down the empty barrel that smells like sewage and you're stepping in all types of rottenness. Yes, it's bad.
I'd rather have Darren Williams just in that being a part of that Chiefs offense.
Man,
I'd rather have Darren Williams, man.
Look here, man, I'd rather have my grandma's left hip, and it's the bad one, brother. It's the bad one, man.
Yeah, you stupid.
Here's the thing, and no disrespect to Wayne Gallman, because I have to give credit where credit is due. He made it to the NFL, but and I always preach about this. There's a difference between the NFL and college, and the difference is minute. It is literally the game of inches in the NFL, and if you can't make those precise cuts, you won't make it in the NFL. And he has the feet of freaking. Oh my gosh, I can't think of anybody with some big Goofy. He has the feet of Goofy, man. Like he trips over. Yes, he trips over his feet. I mean, it's bad. So we'll see how it plays out. Like with the quarterback that he has now, that rookie. I mean, he's looking like a stud, man. I broke it down to you, Sheldon. I told you they drafted him for a reason, man. And I'm still seeing it. And it was only one game. I know you're gonna say that, but hey, one game is better than what Baker's done this entire season.
He scored more points. He scored more points than Baker in one game than Baker scored in all season. He scored 34 points. Baker has not scored 34 points yet this season in 3 games, which is pretty sad.
It is.
But actually, we can't move on from that game yet though, because we got to talk about my boy F1 Terry Mack.
Yep.
The F1 McLaren. We got to talk about my boy. He is the first receiver in NFL history to have at least 5 receptions and a touchdown the first 3 games. He's on pace right now for like 1,370 yards, and you really don't see rookie wide receivers break out like this. I was on him. He was a 4-year guy at Ohio State. You guys know he was my last draft round, my sleeper pick guy. I got him on. I got a lot of stock in him. He's fast, bro. He's fast. He's a great route runner. He has a great game IQ. He just knows how to get open. And if Keenum can get him the rock, like he's gonna make the catch. And he's getting the great targets. He leads the Redskins in red zone targets. He's the one player I would play on their team because consistently. I mean, even if he doesn't put up a touchdown in a PPR league, he's probably going to get 5 receptions, 60, 70 yards. That's a bad game from him. That's 12 points.
See who's starting at quarterback this week too.
They're starting Haskins?
Haskins is starting.
I didn't hear that.
From where? Yeah.
Stop.
Okay.
Actually, I heard that Casey Keenum's hurt, so Haskins may be playing. Let me see. Right now, yeah, Casey Keenum is questionable. Jordan Reed is out. We're not gonna speak on that. Ooh,
I wouldn't.
offensive
And
line is
I mean,
banged up.
and to people that don't
what a
know,
better
Haskins
team
and McLaurin both
played.
were at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, that connection.
They had a great connection. They had a great chemistry in college. Um, the what a better defense to start your season against than the New York Giants. If they're gonna play Haskins, what a better defense to break yourself into. Like
Very good
seriously,
point. Very, very
Seriously, like
Maybe the Dolphins would be a little easier.
I mean,
Maybe.
Dolphins are
yeah,
like Pee-wee
but to
level.
be playing a division rival, I'd rather be playing the Giants over the Eagles and the Cowboys. And if you're breaking in Haskins,
Right,
That's
very
true.
good
Corey
point.
just said they're peewees. That means Giants are what, middle school?
Rookie. We're going rookie. We'll go rookie in Madden. You know, like, well, the offense. The offense is getting there, but that defense is terrible, man.
and even though Daniel Jones, he showed some speed. Actually, he set the fastest. He was the fastest moving quarterback that wasn't black.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, that wasn't Kyler. That wasn't Kyler Murray or
Oh, you just said that to
Russell
say that.
Wilson.
Oh my gosh.
But no, but seriously, there wasn't Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson. He was I think, or Deshaun Watson, one of the two, or two of the three of the black quarterbacks anyway. But yeah, he was like the third fastest so far this year running down the field at QB speed. He scored 2 touchdowns on the ground, so I mean he's an athletic dude. We'll see if he's can be consistent about it. Like the Redskins defense, the Washington football defense isn't that great, and so.
Yeah. I think
We'll-
McLaurin's one of the
we'll see.
luckiest receivers in the league. Like, he comes in his rookie year to a team that really has no one else. I mean, they have another rookie receiver starting in Quinn.
He came in. No, Quinn's second year.
Is this
He
Quinn's
was-
second? I thought Quinn was drafted this year. But yeah,
He
still
was Mr.
all
Irrelevant
young guys.
in 2017.
So all
was
young
Mr.
guys. And
But,
this dude gets the quarterback that he played college with. Like,
Yeah.
what else? Like, what better situation can you come into as a rookie?
When they drafted Haskins went to Snyder and was like, "Get me one of my dudes,"
Yeah.
which would probably have been either Paris Campbell or McLaurin. He was like, "Get me one of my dudes," and they went and got one of his dudes.
I don't think Haskins went up there and said. Think Haskins did? You think he had that call? Like,
I
man,
think-
look.
Him and Dan are tight already. Daniel Snyder wanted him.
And the man.
Haskins went to Daniel Snyder's son's high school. They went to high school together. And that's why Daniel Snyder wanted Dwayne Haskins.
Good tidbit.
Jay Gruden didn't want Dwayne Haskins, man.
Of course not. And when is that relationship going to ever end? Like, when is they just going to sever ties?
Jay Gruden with the black quarterback.
Oh my gosh. What's up, man, Sheldon? Hey, Alex, what you trying to say something?
No, I was just talking about McLaurin. Y'all are good.
All
I'm ready to
right.
move on.
Yeah. Are we going to move into these 4:00 games or?
Well, we
Hey,
missed
my-
a couple.
Well, see, my schedule messed back up. What games did we miss? Oh, we missed your boys.
Yeah, he was in Baltimore and Carolina, Houston, man.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
We see them now. Okay, so with that being said, Panthers and Texans, man, Allen looked really good last week, didn't he, Hager? What's your thoughts, man? You starting them this week against the Texans or what?
Oh man. I always say this, I'm gonna not be biased here and say no, I'm not gonna start him, but deep down I know he's gonna play pretty well. So I expect this to be another shootout. So I'm gonna say to start him.
Yeah.
I expect the Texans and Panthers to scrap at each other, man. The Texans secondary hasn't looked that great this year. They're great against the run, but they're like the Eagles.
Yeah,
Like,
they're really
their
bad against the pass, man.
Yeah, just like the Eagles, and their inability to stop tight ends is going to really hurt because Olsen is still playing like Greg Olsen right now. So, yeah, McCaffrey obviously my other must start.
You got to start all of them. Start Moore.
Yeah.
You got to start Samuel
I don't know
against that
about that.
passing defense. Yeah, against that passing defense, bro.
You got to start everybody now.
That's-
We can't go that far. We can't say that.
I'm starting Samuel. I'm definitely starting Samuel. I'm starting
You said
Samuel
Cory
and
had
Tab.
two targets last week? Was it like
Yeah,
two
but he
targets?
took one of them to the house for like 52 yards.
No, that was
He
DJ.
pulled a McCall Hardman.
That was DJ. Yeah, 1 reception, 54 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, you don't want to rely on that. You don't want to come in every week like, oh, I hope he gets that one reception for 70 yards and a TD.
DJ Moore, the other weeks before, DJ Moore was like leading the team in targets and stuff. He was getting
with
more.
Cam. We got a quarterback change. We got to remember that.
Yep.
We got to
You're
remember
gonna need a reliable weapon like Olsen.
Against that Houston secondary. I'm starting him, man. That's just me.
There it is.
It's possible, but I don't know. I think the big matchup here, if anybody didn't see Dante Jackson's interception last week, this dude leaped like at least 8 feet in the air. Like, I mean, yeah, that was ridiculous. Dang, I wish we had the video. But this dude is super fast, makes some dumb decisions sometimes, but I'm really looking forward to the matchup between him and Fuller. Speed versus speed. That's going to be fun to watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Fuller,
And then-
he's been sort of disappointing this year. Or am I
It's Fuller being Fuller,
fantasy-wise.
man. It's not. He's the Deshaun Jackson like.
It's coming.
prototype. Nah,
It's-
man. He's that boomer bust dude, man. He's just like Robbie Anderson.
Hey,
He's just
Alex, real quick.
he's just
What's
like
his name again that had the interception?
Dante Jackson.
Dante Jackson. A new, cool little trick. Actually, it's already pulling up. They knew. They're listening. Of course they are. Because they have nothing better to do than to listen to the Tab Nation Fantasy Podcast,
I would
baby.
listen. I would be listening if I wasn't
Here's
doing
the
the cast
interception.
right now.
They can hear the video and everything. Look how high he is. Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to mute the video. But look how high this guy gets. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Super athletic.
Yeah, he is.
It's going to be fun to watch. And then you got Bradbury on Hopkins, which is going to be a nightmare for me. I'm going to be crying the whole time with that one because Hopkins is definitely a must start with Watson. So
I mean, Hopkins has been kind of bottled up the last couple of games, man.
who they've been playing, though?
And they've been scheming him up, man. They have.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. If nobody else is producing on that team, I mean, you got Kiki and Stills, but
Where have they been? Where has Kiki been? I know he's hurt.
Where's Kiki? Stills has been trying to get his groove on with the looks he's been getting, but he's just not getting that many looks.
Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think those tight ends? Do you think those tight ends follow up? Houston's tight ends follow up that game they had last week. What Fells had 2 touchdowns. The other tight end had another touchdown.
No way. No way.
Nah, Carolina's linebackers can cover tight ends pretty well.
Yeah, Luke's gonna shut that down.
Kuechly and Thompson's a converted safety, so
I
really don't. Yeah.
So it's getting past my bedtime. Let's hit this Cleveland-Baltimore game and call it a wrap for the night.
Hold on, man. No, we ain't gonna just call it a night because Sheldon wants to call it a night. But hold on, man. We still got if you gotta go, brother, you can go. Just log
I
out.
thought we were only doing the 1:00 games.
Yeah, man. We still talking on the Panthers and Texans game. We still got D-Hop. Alex, you were hitting your thoughts on D-Hop?
I think he's going to play pretty well. Bradbury's just not able to cover number one receivers like that. Hopkins is just too good, man. Like one of the best receivers in the league, hands down. I think he's going to have a great game. If it is a shootout, he's going to have to. So
finally a bounce back. Ooh, you think it's going to be a shootout?
I think so. I don't think it's going to be some crazy 50-point shootout, but I'm looking in the 30s for both teams.
Got you. Sheldon, thoughts on that?
I agree. I think it's going to be. I think it might be in the 50s. It could get up that high.
Because I don't know if Allen can stay in there.
I don't think. Yo, man, people forget. Kyle Allen is the reason Kyler Murray left Texas A&M, bro. Because Kyle Allen beat him out.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like Kyle Allen's no slouch, man. He threw the rock in Houston too. He moves the rock, man. He played well. It's a small sample size. He played well in week 17 last year. He played well last week. I mean, albeit against the Arizona Cardinals, but he played well. I think with the weapons that he has, he doesn't have to do much. You know what I'm saying? If North Turner can work a receiver open, Samuel's going to get open. You can get a little gadget trick play to Moore. You know, Olsen is playing like his feet are working again. You know, Olsen's actually showing up like Olsen. McCaffrey's a beast. You see him run away from them dudes on that long run? He just straight ran away from them dudes. He was like, bye.
Hey, I'm not questioning you. McCaffrey could put up 50 on his own.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be a back and forth.
I think he
I
aims
think
for
it's going to
50
be a
a
back
game.
and forth battle. I think Kyle Allen is a startable quarterback, and I think there might be a problem because now they're letting us know the truth with Cam. All of a sudden now, you see Kyle Allen play good last week. Now it's a Liz Frank injury. Now we finding out the truth, and his foot was real messed up that whole time. They had him out there playing with some messed up feet.
Yeah,
And
we're not
now
gonna go down that aisle though. But so
okay, now we found out the truth, and if this dude's playing well, why are you going to rush Cam back?
exactly,
He's had two shoulder surgeries in the last 3 years.
does Cam come back to the Panthers? Is the
Like
question.
like he might not if Kyle Allen balls out.
All
And you
right.
got that young rookie salary. What you might have to trade him or get rid of him. Something, man. Trade him to Chicago.
So Corey, you haven't gave much inputs on things yet. So I want to ask you one quick question right here, right?
All right, okay,
So
let's do it.
Cam Newton, when he comes back, right? If Kyle Allen's hot start sticks in the week 10, week 11, do you bring back Cam if he's fully healthy?
Yo,
You gotta stick with a hot hand, man.
you right. You got to send that message to the locker room that you're in it to win it. And if you let Cam come back and Cam has to warm up again, he's missing throws, and that offense isn't clicking, you're going to lose that locker room, and they're going to be ticked. And there's going to be fingers pointed at Cam. Don't do it to Cam. I don't think Cam should do it to himself. This might be the end of that tenure with the Panthers. And if so, man, there's other teams out there that can use Cam Newton, and there's definitely teams that will go out there and try to grab Cam Newton.
Let me guess, Denver.
No, I know for a fact Denver won't. Unfortunately, I know Denver
The
won't.
Bears, man. Imagine him in a Matt Nagy offense, man.
I can't imagine anybody in Matt Nagy offense because Matt Nagy is ticking a lot of people off, including me. All right, why did he go
Not
there?
giving Montgomery the rock.
They believe in Trubisky apparently, so.
Well, what's funny is when you think about that draft, Chicago moved up and passed on Watson and Mahomes to get Trubisky.
Yeah, I remember that. And they gave up a whole bunch of picks. And he was fair to him.
Oh, man. That's
Our last 1 o'clock game. What we have? Oh, the Browns and the Ravens.
Oh, no.
We have Sheldon's Browns. And for those that don't know, in the Show Me League, Sheldon decided to draft the entire Browns starting offense,
Including Kitchens.
and that old coach,
Man.
and that coach from last year that the belly jiggle, he took him too. So with that being said, I need to hear some inputs. Are you starting your Browns players against a decent Ravens defense? What's up?
I'm starting Chubb. Chubb, remember that top 5 touches list I had before? Chubb ranks number 3 with 69 touches. And I think that Kitchens knows that he needs to run the offense with the way the offensive line has been playing, especially in pass protection. I think that they're going to need to give Chubb the rock. Not on 4th and 9 on a draw play, because I don't know what the hell Kitchens was thinking when he did that. But I think, like I said, he has 69 touches right now. Give him the rock. He's been productive when he's been getting the rock. I think that'll give Baker more time and open things up for him. And I'm actually sitting Baker, and I'm starting Kyle Allen. I'm sitting Baker in Tavlock and also Show Me. And I'm starting Stafford and Show Me and Kyle Allen and Tavlock this week. So I'm sitting Baker against the Ravens defense. Hopefully he has a good game. I would love to see him have a good game so I can feel confident to put him back in the following week. But with the matchup Stafford has against the KC defense and Kyle Allen has against the Houston secondary, I'm going to take those matchups in my. And OBJ, I'm going to start OBJ.
Okay, starting OBJ.
I'm still going to start OBJ. He's
Got to start OBJ though, man. He's your second round.
He's still OBJ, man. He's the guy that can take 2-yard slant to the house. in a blink of an eye. And, he's going to get, 10, 11, 12 targets, regardless of who's guarding him or what the other defense is. And so I think he's still going to be playable. A sneaky play for the Browns, that Harris kid, he caught a touchdown with Njoku hurt. Baker seems to like looking for him. So I'd play him, and I'd actually sit the juice.
Sit the juice, man. It's time to sit the juice. That juice is spoiled now, man.
Put the juice on the pine.
Yeah, it's expired date.
Try to maybe put the juice on the trade block, see what you can get. But where things are looking right now, I don't think you're going to get that much. For Baltimore, I'm definitely starting Lamar, definitely starting Ingram. I think they're going to try to run the ball straight through the Browns' face. It's going to be one of those, run the ball through your face games for Baltimore. And then, I definitely start Andrews, even though he had a bad game against KC last week. I'd start Andrews. I'm not too sure about any of the other receivers, though, for Baltimore. He spread the ball around a lot more. Jackson spread the ball around a lot more last week, which is kind of good offensively for them, but bad for fantasy-wise. So, I don't think I'm starting any of the Ravens receivers this week against that Browns secondary. But I'm definitely starting Ingram, definitely starting Lamar, definitely starting Andrews on the Ravens side.
Thoughts, Mr. Hager?
I agree for the most part with the Browns. There's only there's only 3 quarterbacks in the league I would start against the Ravens anyways, and that's Patty, we see what he did, Aaron Rodgers, and Brady. That's about the only 3 quarterbacks I would start against the Ravens. I'm sitting Baker 100%. He's played like doo-doo, man. 3 touchdowns and 5 picks this year.
Doo-doo.
That's not Baker numbers.
I think like 4 of the picks are in the fourth quarter, man.
Yeah. I think he bounces back, but not anytime soon because, you got the Ravens in Baltimore. You got in San Francisco. You got the Seahawks. You got in New England, in Denver, Bills. It doesn't get any better for Baker. So I don't know how his fantasy outlook is. I don't really see him starting in the next 6 games at all. This schedule is rough.
He has to stop holding on to the ball, man.
Yep.
He needs to get rid of it on his first read. If that's not there, he needs to find Chubb or one of his other safety outlets and get the ball to them. And stop trying to sneak out to the right because everybody knows he likes to roll out to the right, and so he needs to stop doing that. He needs to stop holding on to the ball.
It's hard to break, man.
They kept talking about it at the game or during the game, but it's a fact that I believe. And if you looked at it, it was true. When he got rid of the ball quickly and under 2.5 seconds,
Yep.
It was a successful play. Every time he held on to the ball for longer than 3 seconds, it was bad.
They were showing that stat line. He was plus 75 completion percentage when he holds the ball less than 2 seconds. Yep. Yeah. Definitely much more effective.
He needs to trust his reads. He's trying to improv too fast. I don't know if he's shook from that wrist injury because he knows his line is boo-boo. I don't know what's going on. I think Kitchens needs to be more creative and scheme the wide receivers open a little bit faster so he can get the ball out. And then once again, if you run the ball down people's faces with Chubb, that'll open up things. They can't,
Yeah. Odell's going to have to be a good crutch for Baker too, because Landry just hasn't been able to be that person, which I thought he was going to be. I figured Odell would be the one to come in making explosive plays, and Landry would be the one that is his crutch because he played with him last year. But it's looking the other way around. I haven't seen much from Landry at all. Odell's been the more consistent one so far. So I think Odell improves even from what he's doing right now. But I really like Hollywood in this game. I think Hollywood explodes. Cleveland hasn't seen a receiver as fast as Marquise Brown yet this year, and they haven't even played against him ever. So he's just one of those.
Whoa, they just played Brandon Cooks last week, brother.
He ain't that. No, he is not as fast as Marquise.
That's a good debate, actually. Hey, we gotta post that I wonder who will win in the race. That's a good debate.
Whoa, Cooks is a burner, man.
Thoughts on that, Tavs? Marquise is a burner. Thoughts on that,
I
Tab
know
Mason?
they're both burners, like, but I don't think their speed is that different. That you're like, well, they can't handle it when they just played against the burner last week and did pretty good against them. I didn't see Cooks blowing up last week.
So I know Marquise Brown's unofficial 40 time, because he didn't do it in the combine, which he was trying to push John Ross's record because he said he thought he could do it. So, I mean, that's pushing 4.2s right there. I don't think Cooks is 4.2 numbers.
No. I don't even, what was Cooks was a 4.4? I wanted to bring up something. I brought up something, and I shouldn't bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. Who do you play this week, Sheldon?
Show me?
Yes. Do you know off the top of your head?
I can pull it up. I have that window open. I just gotta refresh it.
I just want to make sure. I know you don't play me. I'll make sure it ain't Alex, because I'm not going to do it while we're on live with Alex.
No, it's not me.
Not you. Okay, so
I don't know why it's taking so long.
You might want to go look at this defensive stats, man.
I'm playing team.
So far through 3 games, 49 attempts, Baltimore has given up a total of 181 rushes. A total. They give up an average of 3.7. The most that average went up last week, and that was because Shady had some open holes he was running through, and that's because the scheme they're in.
Williams had a good game too.
Yes, they did. That's because
Williams had a good game too.
But what I'm saying is, brother, they shut teams down. Freddie Kitchens isn't running the same scheme as my man over there with the mustache in Kansas City. They're not running the same scheme. They don't have the same quarterback. You should be concerned. Anybody that has Chubb this week, I will be concerned. I understand that you picked him in the 2nd or 3rd round, but if you want to win fantasy, sometimes you have to take a chance. And me personally, I'm not really big on starting Chubb this week, especially if I'm in a certain situation. I'm concerned. Thoughts?
I'm playing Chubb, bro.
Playing Chubb. There it is.
I didn't pick him in the 1st round to sit him against Baltimore, man. Like, I'm playing Chubb, man.
Oh, you did take him in the 1st. Yeah, you got to play him at that point. Thoughts, Alex?
I think you play him this week.
Play him.
And only reason I say that is because that pass game's just going to be shut down. Like, Odell's going to be the only one catching the ball, and I think the only way to open it up is to get the run game going. And once Odell starts to get going, then Chubb's going to start breaking free. So
Chubb's getting 23 touches a game, man.
He's
like,
going to have.
He'll be all right.
He's probably going to have to get more than that. If he's going to be fantasy reliable this week, he's going to have to get a lot of touches, which I think is going to happen. But
concerned, man. Chubb, he's been getting really close to that 100-yard mark, but Baker, they're gonna scheme Baker up, man. Baker's gonna see some things he's never seen before when you go play the Ravens. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I'm interested. Everybody's watching.
He played him twice last year.
He did, but I don't.
He also lost. He lost to them twice.
I don't remember him doing too much.
He won the game against Flacco when Flacco was still starting.
Yeah, that's not hard to do though.
But then, actually, no. I think he only played him once, and Flacco was still starting when he played him. And the first time, Tyrod might have still been playing when they played him the first time, and then Baker played him the second time and won because they still have Flacco.
So, out of all the players we went over, Sheldon, who do you think explodes this week?
Who has a Deasley week?
Yes.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
I can see Mike Williams having like 150 yard, 2-touchdown game on like 6 or 7 receptions, something like that.
The Dolphins.
And then Eckler and Jackson like backing it up with like another like 20 point games apiece for them too.
Do you think Mike Williams is going to have a better game than Keenan?
Yeah. because I think Mike's going to get the red zone targets.
Ooh.
He was last week. I mean, towards the end of the game,
I think they're going to. I think they're going to try to get him going against this shitty team.
Hold on, refresh my memory really quick. But who's the number one receiver in the league right now for fantasy?
Yes, sir. Keenan Allen doing his thing. You know what? When I had the stats put up, I can't go back to it, but Mike Evans was leading receivers, and hold on, let me go back. It might have been just a weekly stat. Hopefully it was weekly, because if Mike Evans just had one big game and he was leading receivers, okay, yeah, all right, it was weekly. Yes, Keenan Allen is leading all receivers in receiving right now, 404 yards. I mean,
he's getting 14 targets a game.
But I mean, that's every season. We knew what he was getting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, man, you got you a stud all season. But that's the thing.
I tried trading for Allen. Now that ain't happening no more. No. Like, if I had Allen, no, there'd be no way I'd trade for him. He's too valuable right now.
Oh, yeah, man, he's winning games.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain players that's just too valuable. Like McCaffrey, you have to hold on to him. Like, I realized that the trades I was making, I'm like, wait, this is like 3 starters right here. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
It's so valuable, man, especially at running backs. I don't know if you have to get off. I know Sheldon said he was getting tired.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get off, I was gonna let you get off. And I didn't know if you wanted to stay on and do some more, Alex. Are you getting off as well?
Yeah, I think I gotta get out.
All right, man. So with that being said, guys, we are about to sign out and call it a night. Sheldon, any last words?
Yo, take your rankings, right? Regardless of your matchup, you have people. Take the rankings that you trust.
Yep.
Whether it's Tab rankings, ESPN rankings, Fantasy Pros, Sleeper, wherever you get your rankings, the rankings you trust. For each position, for running back, take your top 25. Wide receiver, take your top 25. Quarterback, top 10. Tight end, top 10. Those are the players you don't really have to question about whether you're going to start or not. You want to start those top 25 running backs, you start your top 25 wide receivers in most instances, unless you're playing like the Bears or like maybe the Ravens. We'll see if their defense is as imposing as it looks.
Throwing shots. I like it.
Yeah, there's always going to be bad matchups. But, yeah, I mean, you still have to trust your players, running backs especially. Yeah. Even if they have a bad matchup, running backs are so scarce.
That's why I'm playing Chubb. I mean, I kind of made a right choice last week. I played Mostert over Kerryon Johnson, but Kerryon Johnson still ended up outscoring Mostert. Like, Mostert would have had a decent game if he didn't have the fumbles, you know? But, like, Kerryon Johnson still had a touchdown and, 10 points. It would have put
we don't want to hear about your whack team. Get them out of here. What you got, Alex, man? We about to get out of here. You got anything, Alex?
Go Panthers, baby. Let's go.
We're
about to be 2-2. Where the Broncos sitting at right now?
Hey, man, it's not about how you begin. It's about how you finish. And with that, we're signing out. Salute to all our vets. Salute to all our active duty. We love you guys.
Bless. Y'all have a good night.
Later.
All right, man. See you fellas later. I'm going to upload it tomorrow.
All right. Y'all have a good night, man.
Yep.